Rồi, con ngồi xe vô này. Con ngồi xe vô này. Steven. Ok rồi. Rồi con ngồi xe vô nữa đi. Con ngồi xe vô nữa. Ngồi xe vô. Ok. No sit. Con ngồi xe vô. No, xe vô này nè. Xe vô này. Ok. Rồi.
Sư cô nhờ các con chắp tay lên niệm Phật lớn rõ. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam mô A Di Đà Phật. Nam mô A Di Đà Phật. Nam mô A Di Đà Phật. Dạ, A Di Đà Phật. Mời thầy Thiện Vũ hướng dẫn cho các em vào buổi học chiều nay. Dạ, A Di Đà Phật.
Kimi?
Yeah.
All right, Kimi, please.
You just put any foot on the thigh and then the other one under.
Yes, one thigh on top of the other, right? And you can do the right thigh on top of the left thigh, or the left thigh on top of the right thigh, right? And again, what's important is to bring the heels as close to your body as possible. Yes? And in the beginning, it may be hard for some of you because we're different. Yeah? So some of you may be very stiff or you're like way out here at the beginning, but eventually you want to bring them in as close as possible like this, right? Either left leg on the right thigh or right leg on the left thigh. Either way is fine. So once you get into the position, what about the back? It's fine. Up straight, right? Up straight, right? As straight as possible, okay? But as we try to do this, we tend to have a tendency of pushing forward like this. We don't need to do that, right? Just kind of scan your body to make sure that your spine is straight, yes? All right, what about the positions of your hands? All right, one on top of the other, and which one is on top of which one? Right one on top of left one. Yes? Let's give it a try so that we remember. All right? And the thumbs touching, the tip of the thumbs touching one another slightly, very gently. And why do we want to do this? Why do we want to get into this kind of position? What are some of the benefits that we talked about yesterday? Please, your name, come? Katie, please, go ahead. Concentration, right? Okay. So it will help you to concentrate, right? So this is the body, the physical part, right? What about the mind part of it and the breathing part? What do we do? Somebody remembers? Yes, please. Kimi, yes? Not here. I got it wrong. Here? Okay, so Kimi, go ahead.
Can you repeat the question, please?
What about how do you breathe? This is a physical part of it, right? Okay. So you get your legs into either a full lotus position, half lotus position, hands on top of one another, the tip of the thumbs touching one another gently. What about the breathing? Yes, please.
Slow and controlled breathing. You inhale and just exhale out all the bad energy and anything that doesn't serve you.
Excellent, right? So you try to control, right? In the beginning, you want to control, right? But slowly you want to not control anymore, but do it very naturally. Focus on your breathing. Breathe in. I know I'm breathing in. Breathe out. I know I'm breathing out. Okay. So let's give it a try. Yeah? So please get into either half lotus or full lotus position, everyone. Thank you. And then once you get into this position, you want to adjust your body so that you're really comfortable. You don't want to be stiff on one side or the other. Yes? So try to be as relaxed as possible and get into the position and scan your body, your spine to make sure that your spine is up straight. And the position of the eyes, you don't want to close them all the way. Just not close it small, right? Looking down about 3 feet away from you. Why is this? Because we don't want to be distracted by what we see around us. Yes? finish those three so that we now introduce one of the friends in the group, right? So the three groups left. Please come on up and let's do it so that we can, once we're finished, we go to the next item that I have on the agenda here. So one of the three groups that didn't get to present or introduce your friend yesterday. I know one of them was back here, right? And one of them was in the back corner over there. Maybe two on this side, I don't remember. So who was supposed to introduce their peer yesterday? Yes, please, come on up. And your name? We have a microphone ready for you. Is your friend that you're introducing here today? Oh, I see. All right. Okay. No problem. So just go ahead.
So the person I am introducing is Yahun. She likes badminton, and something that she learned from the Dharma is how to be a good person, and something she wants to get out of the retreat is to be a better person.
And your name?
My name's Kayla.
Help me again. You spell your friend's name.
Gia and then space HAN, and the A has a hat.
Oh, Jahan? Yeah. Okay, so anything else any questions for Kayla about Jahan? And Jahan is not here today, correct?
I haven't seen her.
You haven't seen her. All right, so hopefully she'll show up tomorrow, right? Okay, well, thank you, everyone. Next group, please. Let's not wait. Let's not waste the time, right? Don't be shy. Come on. I honestly don't remember. I should have taken your name, but I didn't, so bad on my part. Your group, maybe? No? We went. Oh, you went. Okay. Navy, this is Navy. Hải Quân. Group của con làm chưa? Chưa phải không? Vậy là con. Mời con. Okay. That's okay, Hải Quân. Yesterday, yes, I do.
You have a muted right now? Am I muted?
Come on, Hải Quân.
There you go.
And you be next. Hải Quân nha. You be next. Everyone, listen up, please. Thank you. Here you go.
Hi, my name is Caitlin, and I'm going to be introducing you right here. One of her favorite hobbies to do is listen to music and play instruments such as the guitar and flute. And something she learned from the Dharma is that it will help you make good decisions, including mindfulness. And then the fourth thing she wants to learn after the end of the retreat is to be a good person and learn more about Buddha's teachings.
Tell me the last part. What is it that she would like to learn from the retreat?
She would like to be a good person and learn more about Buddha's teachings.
More about the teaching.
Yes.
Any questions for Kayleen, right?
Caitlin.
Caitlin.
Yes, Caitlin.
Okay, thank you. All right. Hải Quân, you're next.
I'm going to say in person my friend that is Ethan. He liked drawing, and what he know about is Dharma is understanding and love. He learned about Dharma is compassion. Favorite of Rishi is eating food. What? It's okay, no. He want at the end of the retreat. He want to be a good person and how to think mindful.
Thank you. Any questions for Bukung before he goes back? No? All right. So that's all, correct? Please remind me if we have any group left. One more group? Come on up, please. All right.
Don, Katie, please.
So my name is Jaden. I'm introducing Lam over here. He said that his hobbies were volleyball, and what he learned from the Dharma is the 3 jewels. He said at the end of the retreat, he wants to learn full lotus, and he wants to learn the 5 precepts. The full lotus and the 5 precepts.
All right, that's all right? Yep. Very good. Thank you again, everyone. So let me ask you, how many musicians do we have in this group? Let's see who remembers. How many musicians?
Five.
People who like to sing, who play instruments. Only half of the people have gone up? Oh, that's right. You know, the ones that we've been introduced to.
2.
How many musicians? Please go ahead. 2? 2? What do they play?
Singing.
One of them, the one that you introduced, played quite a few different instruments, correct? Okay. And then who else? Who else plays instruments?
Raymond does.
Okay, Raymond. Raymond plays what?
Timpani.
All right. What else? Who else? Okay. And what does he play? The piano? Wonderful. I used to be able to play the piano, but it's been a long time, so I think I've forgotten. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. What about artists? Artists. People who like to draw, paint, artists.
just
How many?
4 or 5. 1.
I feel like there's maybe 5.
Maybe 4 or 5. I
One
think
is
4 or
eaten.
5. Yes, I don't
I remember
remember.
there's a few, but I don't
I
remember.
have my notes here, but we have, we do have a lot of talents here, right? And I'm sure each of you is gifted with a very specific talent. And I would like for you to consider taking lessons, more practice, so that you will become good at what you can play, right? Yes, question? All right. Okay, so now, moving on to the next thing that I have on the agenda, okay? Now, I'm going to have Mr. Goldstein explain the 3 refugees and the 5 precepts. Just very briefly, you can see that this was back in 1994. Most of you were not around yet, right? You were? Okay. So, how long ago was this?
A few years. 30 years ago. 30.
Exactly 30 years, right? Wow, that's a long time. But he is one of the very first Americans who went to India, learned about Buddhism, and brought Buddhism back to America. One of the founding fathers of Buddhism in America, in North America.
Like
Yes?
Benjamin Franklin?
Okay, so
Like Benjamin Franklin, the founding father?
that's of our country, right? This is for Buddhism in America. So, my Sinko playing song. I'd like for you to listen and please take some mental notes. I know you don't have paper and pencil, but pay close attention and see if you learned something new. If you did not learn something new, it's okay. What did he review you from from the teaching about the 3 refuges and the 5 precepts. Yes?
Is there like a video? Is it a video or is it like audio?
It's an audio. It's an audio.
You're just gonna stare at us?
So while they're working on that, let's just do this. How many of you here took the refuges this morning? Raise your hand, please. Anyone here? This morning, for the first time. You did? Or for the first time? For the first time. Okay, so not from this group, but so have you all done that? No, some of you have not? That's okay. That's okay. But I hope that you will consider that. Talk to your parents about it so that you can, participate in that ceremony in the near future so that you can become an official Buddhist, right? Okay. That cannot be played. Okay, so let's review what we've learned. What are the 3 refuges? I vow to take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma, and I take refuge in the Sangha. What is the Buddha? How do you define Buddha? Is that Buddha? The awakened one, right? Awakened one. What does that mean?
He's awakened.
What does being awakened mean? Yes, please go. Eternal enlightenment or peace. All right, very nice answer, very good answer. Thank you. Somebody in the back, right? Was it you? Please go ahead. Okay, so learning, practicing different parts of life to achieve what? To achieve enlightenment, right? To achieve enlightenment. And being enlightened means you reach the highest level of ethical and
Enlightenment.
what is it?
Enlightenment.
Enlightenment, but what does that mean? That's what I'm asking, right?
You said you were wrong.
Okay, ethics and morality, right?
Right,
Okay, so that's what being a Buddha means, awakening, right? The one who knows, a knower, an enlightened one. All right. What about the Dharma? What does Dharma mean to you?
That's the way.
The way. What does the way mean? The teaching. Somebody said. The teaching. Who's teaching? The Buddha's teaching. The way, right? Showing you the way. The way to where?
Enlightenment.
The way to enlightenment, right? The way to enlightenment. Are we all walking that path right now? Yes. Yes, we are, right? Yes.
Well, if you walk the opposite of Nirvana, you're unenlightened.
That's a tough question. So, what's the opposite of nirvana, right?
Nope.
So, when we talk about nirvana, now have you heard the different terms of Mahayana and Theravada Buddhism?
Nope.
Probably not. Okay.
Okay,
So in Vietnamese, we have the 2 terms, Phật giáo Đại thừa, that's Mahayana, right? Or sometimes it's also referred to as Phật giáo Phát triển, developed Buddhism. Okay. Or Theravada, or Phật giáo Nguyên thủy, that's the original. Okay. So going back to that question, in Mahayana, we don't talk about nirvana that much, but instead, for this particular tradition that Sư Ba and all of Sư Cô here follow, this is called Pháp môn Tịnh độ, the Pure Land tradition, right? Pure Land tradition. And our philosophy is that we name Phật, we recite, we chant the name of the Buddha to walk as we walk that path so that we can go to his Pure Land, right? All right. So now, and if you don't do that, in samsara. Have you heard of the term samsara? S-A-M-S-A-R-A, samsara. And what is samsara? Samsara is 6 different realms where beings are suffering. And we are humans. In the human forms, this is one form. What's another form? Animals, that's another form. Very good, excellent. Louder. Sáu cõi luân hồi. That's 6 different rebirth realms. Yes? 6 cõi luân hồi. Thì we have a human realm là cõi người, right? And then we have animal realm, cõi súc sinh, right? What else? Cõi trời, okay. Chư thiên, right? The gods and goddesses, right? Còn cõi nào nữa? Địa ngục là hell, right? Okay. And ngạ quỷ, what is ngạ quỷ? Hungry ghosts, hungry ghosts. Okay. And then one more to make it 6. Atula, what is Atula?
It means like people that are angry and always angry and mad.
That's so educated.
Always angry, the beings, right? The beings that are always angry, always unhappy, right? So this is a cõi Atula. Dạ xin quý cô con cái gì mà thiếu sót thì xin quý cô bổ sung dùm cho con. Dạ xin quý cô hoan hỷ. Dạ thì cái này là gọi là 6 cõi luân hồi. I asked the nuns to help me out because remember what I said yesterday. I'm just sharing with you. I'm not. I don't think I'm qualified to be a teacher, but I'm just sharing with you. So I'm asking the nuns to help me out here. Okay. So bây giờ mình lặp lại the 6 realms. The highest realm is what? Highest. God. The two things gods, right? Okay. And get off.
Ghost?
Human is here.
Oh, ghost?
So, ghost is down here. Only ghost is down here. So, the cõi trời, right? And then
Nirvana.
Atula, right? Atula. So, cái cõi này người ta cũng có phước nhiều lắm, nhưng mà tại vì người ta có cái tánh nóng giận. Right? Thì là gọi là Atula. Xong rồi tới cõi human, right? That's us here. And then the next one, lower than us.
Animal.
Cái đó là animal hay là hungry ghost?
Animal. Animal.
Cái nào không? Hungry ghost or animal? Because hell is at the bottom, right? Hell is where you suffer non-stop, right? Okay, you're in pain, you're suffering non-stop. That's hell.
How do I
That's
not
the
go to
lowest
hell?
realm. Như vậy thì sao cõi người là cõi? Thưa quý cô, có phải là
I
cõi
escape.
của hungry ghost không ạ? Ngạ quỷ
Is that
không ạ?
the hobby I have?
Ngạ quỷ rồi mới tới súc sanh, right? Ngạ quỷ rồi mới tới súc sanh, yeah? Okay. And so the ants, right? The birds, the cows, the pigs, right? Okay. So they have different levels of intelligence, right? That's okay. But remember, cõi hell, going back to your question over here, cõi đó là địa ngục, right? That's hell. That means the mind is suffering non-stop. Okay? You can never find even a thousand of a second of relief. Yes. The Buddhist hell is same as Christian hell. That I cannot answer. I don't know. Okay, I don't have an answer for that. But I think it may be somewhat different. Okay, because what I have learned, what I've been informed with, is that with the Christian hell, I think it's eternal, never stop. Right? You never come back. But at least in the Buddhism concept, you can one day you can get out of it. You can be rebirth. Okay, it depends on how bad a person or a being you were, right? So with Christian hell, I think I'm not even sure that's never. You never get rebirth because I don't think in Catholicism or Christian believe in rebirth. Correct? Repentance. Okay, so that will lead to rebirth. Rebirth, but in what
is there like a Buddhism purgatory? Where like in the middle you're not quite rebirthing, but you're not quite in hell?
Well, for rebirth, remember we talk about the 6 different realms, right? The 6 different realms. So you get into one of those. There's nothing in between, right? You either come back as a human. That's why remember sư thầy taught us mình cần niệm Phật, mình cần giữ giới để mình được làm gì? Mình được sanh trở lại hồi xưa này. Sư thầy hay dạy như vậy, đúng không con? Là vì, you know, if we cannot go to the Pure Land yet, at least that's where you can be.
Like 90 năm nè. Should we do it at 100?
Buddha refers both to the historical Buddha that like to formally begin the retreat in the traditional way of taking the refuges, like to formally begin the retreat in the traditional way of taking the refuges, the 3 refuges, and the 5 precepts. And we'll just have the beginning instructions, in a very short sitting. If you want to stretch for a minute or stand up, that would be fine. We traditionally take refuge in what are called the 3 jewels. That is the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Buddha refers both to the historical Buddha, that person who lived a little more than 2,500 years ago, who awakened, became enlightened under the Bodhi tree, spent 45 years of his life in teaching this path to liberation, the path to freedom. And so we take refuge in this being, really as our teacher, the embodiment of wisdom, the embodiment of compassion. And by extension, we take refuge in the Buddha nature, the Buddha potential within ourselves. Our own potential to awaken. Our own potential for love, for compassion. It's very powerful in our lives that we even acknowledge the possibility. Yes, we can awaken, we can be free, just like the Buddha and like countless beings since. The path is there before us, and our task is simply to walk. So we take refuge in this. We take refuge in the Buddha as a teacher. We take refuge in the Buddha within ourselves. Yes, this is possible, and it's possible for me. We take refuge in the Dharma. Dharma is a Sanskrit and Pali word with many meanings. Most fundamentally, it means the truth. It means the truth of how things are. And that's precisely why it is a refuge. Rather than living our lives unconsciously taking refuge in ignorance, taking refuge in delusion, taking refuge in so many of the things that people do, we can consciously place ourselves on the path of what is true. Not true because somebody says it's true, but the truth which we can discover for ourselves in our own experience. I take refuge in the truth. I take refuge in the Dharma. When we take refuge in the Sangha, Sangha is also a Pali Sanskrit word, meaning the community of enlightened beings, the community of ordained beings, monks and nuns, and also the community of all people on the path to enlightenment, on the path to awakening. So this refuge is particularly important in our culture, in our time, when awakening is not a cultural value. It's not what's advertised on TV. So we need to take refuge with one another. who share this value, this possibility of awakening, of opening our hearts, of developing loving kindness, of becoming free. It's a tremendously important refuge because we are a support for one another. I'll repeat the refuges and you can say them silently to yourself. I take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. I take refuge in the Sangha. For the second time, I take refuge in the Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. I take refuge in the Sangha. And for the third time, I take refuge in the Buddha. Take refuge in the Dharma. Take refuge in the Sangha. In addition to the three refuges, we also...
All right, ladies and gentlemen, did you learn something new, something that you didn't hear before from what his explanation of the meaning of taking refuge in the Buddha, taking refuge in the Dharma, taking refuge in the Sangha? It's okay, don't be shy. We're learning together. Right? So he said something about the Buddha got enlightened some years ago. Did you catch that? How many years ago? 2,500 or so years ago, right? I think it's 60 something at this point, right? Remember, this speech was given in 1994, right? I'm a little bit off with the year, but you can look that up and you can help me with that later on, okay? So, how many years did he spend, the Buddha, how many years did he spend teaching the Dharma?
34.
Sorry? Yeah, 45? Did you hear 45? Did you hear?
I thought he said 34.
You thought he said 34. Anyone else? I thought I heard 45 too. Yes, that's what I thought. I heard.
Wait, so if he was taught it for 45 years and he was 50 at the time, does that mean that he started teaching when he was 5?
No, he was not 50 at the time, Carl. And again, there's some differences between the Mahayana and the Theravada tradition. Okay? With the Mahayana tradition, Buddha, got married. Well, did you know that he was a married man before he, became Buddha? Did you practice to become Buddha? Did you know that? Yes, he was a married man, and he also had a son. That's right. Okay, he also had a son. So different traditions have the years a little bit differently, but one tradition said that he started teaching when he was 25 or so. Okay, so by the time he passed into Nirvana, he was 80. Yes, right. And what else did he say about taking refuge in the Buddha? Mr. Goldstein or Master Goldstein?
Something, find your own way.
Something, find your own way. Was that about the Buddha or was it about the Dharma?
I don't remember.
I think that was the Dharma, right? Okay. Finding your own way. Okay. All right. Anything else that you hear about, the Dharma? What did he say about the Dharma? Well, we did say the Dharma was the teaching from the Buddha, all right? But he also used a different word there. Yes? The truth, right? Teaching the truth, the nature of things, right? And it's very complicated, right? It's very complicated. That truth, it's not just the truth like, saying a lie or telling the truth. It's much more complicated in a very philosophy. Okay, this is it. Yes, go ahead, Tom.
He also said that the Dharma is specifically relevant to today's society because reaching enlightenment is not really seen as possible in modern-day Buddhism. So when we learn through the Dharma, the goal is to just practice the mindfulness rather than reach enlightenment.
Okay. Did Mr. Goldstein that or said that? Okay, all right. Did you all hear the same thing? Very interesting concept, right? It's really extended. And this was a retreat for the adults, right? And I think maybe, and I wanted to introduce you to him so that later on, if you ever needed to find some teachings, some talks on Buddhism, you'll be able to go to. This is a person that I would highly recommend. Yes? Okay? All right. What about the Sangha? What did he say about the Sangha? Yes, Sangha means a community, yes. But anything else? Anyone in the back here? The gentleman sitting in the back, the young man. Are you part of the Sangha? According to Mr. Goldstein, are you part of the Sangha? Are we part of the Sangha?
Yes.
Because? All the people that are on the path, right, that are practicing Buddhism to achieve that enlightenment are referred to as the Sangha. How about we should pray and we should go?
Yes.
Of course they are, right? But are they the same as us or they're different than us? Kind of. What's the part that's not? They devoted their entire life, so they are ordained nuns, right? Okay, so they make very special vows. They live a very, very special kind of life with a lot of vows, a lot of rules to follow. They dedicate their life to that, right? All right. And he also talked about the Sangha also include one more group. So the lay people like us, right, they ordain individuals like Sitai, Sito, Witai, right? One more, he said. The what? Sorry? The community of the enlightened beings. He also included that. Yes? All right? Okay, so thank you. Any questions so far? Yes, please. The enlightened. The enlightened. Yes, means. I think he's referring to the Bodhisattvas. Bodhisattvas, right? Yes, yeah. Chư Bồ Tát, có cái Bodhisattvas, right? Là chư Bồ Tát, right? Okay. Thì các ngài Bồ Tát, các vị thánh là họ chưa thành Phật. They're not at the Buddhahood, level yet, but they are very close, right? Okay. So, all right. So that's about the three refugees. Let's listen and hear what he said about the 5 precepts. Okay.
Undertake a commitment to the 5 precepts. The 5 precepts being refraining from killing, that is taking the life of any living being, refraining from stealing, not taking that which isn't offered, refraining from sexual misconduct, which in the context of the meditation retreat means refraining from any sexual activity. Fourth precept is refraining from lying or wrong speech, which again in the context of the retreat means observing the noble silence. And the fifth precept is refraining from taking any kinds of intoxicants, like alcohol or drugs. So we're really working with the natural purity of the mind. There's much to say about the value of these precepts, and in the course of the retreat we will be talking about them.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's quickly review what he said about the first one. No killing. No killing. All right. What else did he say about no killing?
No stealing.
Sorry?
No stealing.
Not what the first one. Let's focus on the first one for a minute. Yes? All right. Okay, so no killing of any form of life. Is that right? Okay. So because why is that? Why is that important? Why is that important? Please, I quote. Okay, what goes around comes around, right? You scratch my back, I scratch yours, right? And that has a positive and a negative connotation when we use that expression, correct? Okay? But if you kill me, and my son, my daughter, my family members will try to hurt you, right? In return. Okay, what else? Why? Why is it important not to kill? Please, Timothy, correct? Because it's mean. Because it's very mean. That's very simple. It's very mean to kill, to hurt someone, to take someone's life, right? Think about it. Do you value your life? Yes. Do you? Yes. Do you value your life, gentlemen?
Yes.
Yes, you do, right? Are you afraid of someone, if someone said to you, I'll take your life?
I don't really care.
You don't really care? Okay. Well, let me just put it this way. I think sometimes we're very quick to react or to respond, right? But if you have some time to think about certain things, we'll say, I don't know, right? If you were not to wake up the next day, right? Or someone said, you have cancer, unfortunately, and you have 3 weeks or 3 months of it. It's a frightful experience, right? Imagine that, okay? But anyway, so no killing because we all beings value their lives, right? The most precious thing that you ever had. Imagine that you wouldn't wake up tomorrow after going to sleep. That's pretty scary, right? Okay. And I know some people think, I don't really care. Sometimes we live not just for ourselves, but also for those who love us as well, right? Okay. But I think deep down inside, we all value our life very, very, very much. Okay. All right. So that's no killing. Next is no stealing, right? Okay. Or another word for stealing is what? Taking that's not ours, not given to you, right? Taking something not given to you, right? Sometimes you say, there's so many beautiful flowers out there, right? Beautiful cactuses that the jewel has, right? Can I take one? Well, you're going to ask for permission. If you really like one and there's so much out there, you can ask for permission, but you don't just take, right? Why is that important? Imagine how you feel if you have something that you lose it. How many of you went kind of nuts, if I may use that word, because you lost something that you value very much? Yes, of course, right? Yes. See, right? Oh my God, right? Let's not go too far. Let's not go too far.
That's why one of them left.
The idea is, may I please have your attention? The idea is to respect your partner, right? To respect your partner, to respect your wife, your husband, your girlfriend, or your employee. You don't want to bring pain, suffering to that person. Because imagine if you have a girlfriend and that person is seeing someone else, it's very painful. Or vice versa, right? So that's the reason why, right? We want to live happy. We want people to be happy as well, and that's the reason why. Okay, so number 4, and this is an interesting one. It's a no lying, but he also used a different term there. No wrong speech. No bad words. That's right. No wrong speech. That's right. What is considered wrong speech? Please. All right, curse words, okay. What else? Sorry? Harsh words, okay. What else? Yes, Oscar. Okay, things saying things that will bring people down, right? And don't tell me that men don't gossip, right? Yes? There's different kinds of levels, right? So gossiping, Gossiping, who knows gossiping? What's gossiping?
Yeah, what's gossip?
Vietnamese.
I don't know Vietnamese.
No, Vietnamese.
English only.
Very good, very good. Okay, and the last one?
No alcohol.
No alcohol.
No drugs.
No drugs. He's making okay. Why not?
What do I do? I don't eat too much dairy.
He's mad. How is it bad? Okay, gentlemen. See, the gossiping wanted you.
Yes, I'm gossiping.
I know you're not now gossiping, you're discussing. That's okay. All right. Please pay attention.
Hey, give me your attention.
Yeah, I farted.
So, no alcohol, right? No drugs, right? Why? Because these are the kinds of things that you take in that will hurt you, your physical and your mental and your physical. Okay? Sometimes people only limit it to Yes.
What if the drugs is like medicine, and what if the alcohol is like religious reasons?
What is the what?
What if the alcohol is like religiously?
But that's not in Buddhism, right? In Buddhism, there's no use of alcohol of whatever form in rituals. Right, Tom? Right, Tom? Yes. Right.
How about sanitizing?
Sanitizing, that's okay, right? But not in taking.
What if it's medicine? What if it's medicine? Medicine.
Now, and the reason is why. It hurts your body, it hurts your brain, but also it clouds your judgment. Okay. When you get intoxicated, what happens? Can you control yourself? No. And you can do all kinds of crazy things, right? Okay. You can violate the other four rules very easily when you are intoxicated. That's why there's rule number 4. Okay? Rule number 4 is really to help you, prevent you from committing the other 4 rules. Because when we're intoxicated, it's very, very easy. We won't be able to control ourselves, right? And when we can't control ourselves, we'll do all kinds of crazy stuff. We break the law, right? Look at DUI. What is DUI? Driving under the influence, driving while intoxicated. Do you want to do that or no? How much does it cost? It's about $15,000 to $20,000. For the first offense. Look it up. About $15,000 to $20,000. Court fees, traffic school, community work, all kinds of things. And you have to hire a lawyer if you want to pay directly. Okay? And the second offense is even more. So we want to don't break the law. So when we talk about the precepts, really, the Buddha is teaching us these 5 precepts to help us what? To become better people. To become better people, to become good people. Right? Okay? So please, if you have already received the 5 precepts, remind yourself every day of these 5 precepts and make sure that you practice, you apply them in your lives. Yes? Yeah, it depends, right? Because I know in some family that is acceptable, right? And I don't want to judge anyone here, right? It depends on the family, right? And sometimes there are some, adult males in the family who do certain things, right? And I'm not in the first position to judge anyone, but as a Buddhist yourself, you can refrain from doing it yourself, right? If they invite you say, you know what, thank you very much, but I'd rather not have that because I have received the precept and I'm taking it very seriously. Yes? Okay, all right. Dạ con còn bao nhiêu thời giờ nữa? Tới giờ. Dạ còn 5 phút rồi, còn 5 phút. Rồi, còn 5 phút bây giờ thì let me ask you this. Who are? Are they all students? Okay, so which one is? Let's talk about the 3, the largest, the furthest one, right? So those are the 3 statues.
I mean, I'll do it again.
Sleep. So when you name Adida Phật, Nam Mô A Di Đà Phật, what because of the Buddha, that's the highest level of enlightenment. But that is the next level right before that. So when they get to that level, they'll practice more and more and more and more, and they'll reach the final stage. That is the Buddha state. Okay? Yes, không? Thì ở đây là mình có hai vị Bồ Tát, right? Một bên là Quan Thế Âm, là nhiều khi con nghe cái chữ là Avalokiteshvara, right? Okay. Bên kia là mình có ai? Đại Thế Chí, right? Đại Thế Chí thầy phải coi, thầy không nhớ. Thầy phải look it up earlier. Thầy không nhớ cái ý. It's the English or the Pali word for it is Mahaprata. 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 Now, in Tibetan Buddhism, trong Học Giáo Tây Tạng, thì cái tên của ngài là Vajrapani. Okay. Thì bây giờ thầy nói rất là mau. Ngài Quan Thế Âm là represent cái gì? Or symbolize cái gì? Compassion, right? Compassion là từ bi. Và ngài Đại Thế Chí, ngài Đại Thế Chí là represent cái gì? Nào, tụi con có nhớ tụi con có bao giờ con nghe về bi trí dũng chưa? Bi trí dũng. Bi trí dũng là the three important qualities to develop to become a good Buddhist. Bi là compassion, trí là gì? Wisdom, and then dũng, courage, bravery. Right? Okay, or power. Okay, so she represents power, bravery, or strength. Right? Okay, and then hoặc là so bây giờ nếu mình nói về bi trí dũng ba cái compassion, we know that's Quan Thế Âm, right? Strength or power là ngày Đại Thế Chí. Vậy thì Đức Phật là gì? Từ cái gì? Right? So if you go like this, if you go, everybody compassion. Raise your right hand. Compassion. Bravery. Together. Wisdom.
Dạ, Di Đà Phật, chúng con xin cảm niệm ân đức Thầy Thiện Bổ đã chia sẻ với các em những điều mà rất là thiết thực trong cuộc sống và các em cần phải biết khi đi về chùa để mình hiểu được những gì mình đã thọ giới, và khi mình lễ Phật mình cũng hiểu được vị Phật đó có ý nghĩa gì để cho mình thấy được cái việc lễ Phật của mình nó được nhiều ý nghĩa hơn. Dạ, Di Đà Phật. Các em chắp tay lên, mình niệm Phật hồi hướng nha. Nam mô Bổn Sư Nam mô A Di Đà Phật. Nam mô A Di Đà Phật. Nam mô A Di Đà Phật. Rồi các em được ra chơi 7 phút.